Hello and welcome to the third video in this series. In this video, we'll be going into conditions. We'll be talking about the if statement. So if you notice, I'm making use of a different environment here. I'm making use of what we call PyCharm, and I'll be showing you the installation process later for this. And it's something you can just search out on YouTube, how to install PyCharm. So the installation process is relatively easy. All you just need to do is install Python beforehand, then you install PyCharm, which is an open source software. So all you have to do is search it out and install. So what I'll do here, I'm just create a new file and I'll be calling it tutorial day 3. So that will be for today. And we'll be talking about conditions. I'll try as much as possible to speed it up, but the whole point is you understanding everything that has been explained. So please take notes of everything being taught, revise it if you need to, and also ask questions in the comment section. Yes, tutorial day 3, we'll be talking about the if statement. We use the if condition when we want to make a decision. We want computer to make a decision for us based on certain things. So we call it the if condition to make decision. Just like if the weather is cold, put on your cardigan. If it isn't, if it is hot, then just come out with your singlet. You understand? Something like that. So we just use it in making decisions. The first example I'll use here is, imagine we have a variable x equals 12. I want Python to tell us if the number that's equal to x, if the number is greater than 10 or if the number is less than 10. Now the if statement comes with, just as it's pronounced, if, followed by a space, then a condition. So a condition comes here. Now this condition evaluates to either true or false. That's where Boolean comes in. So if the condition evaluates to true, Python does whatever comes under it. If the condition here is true, it comes underneath and executes whatever instruction you give it. Now, our condition here, we said less than 10. So assuming x is less than 10. So we're saying if x is less than 10, we want Python to just print and give us x is less than 10. Now take note of what we're doing here. We have the if statement, we have the condition, then we have an expression here. Now after this condition, it is always followed with this colon here. After the colon, you take note of this space. This is what we call indentation in Python. So what this is doing is telling Python that this code is under this if statement. So you don't run this until this is accomplished. So it has to evaluate this first before bringing out this. So if it doesn't evaluate this, then it does not bring this. That is, if whatever here is false, whatever solution we have here is false, then it does not execute this. It goes to the next line. So just to see how that works, after this, let's put out the print statement. This is after the if statement. So we're going to run this now. In Python, for us to run this, all you have to do is click on the run button here, or since it's still a tutorial day, so just right click and you go to run tutorial day 3. So it brings it up in this console here, and here's our result. This is after the if statement. Now let's look at it. The if condition, x equals 12. Now I told you earlier on, when you have this hash, that means that's a comment, so that's why it's ignored. Now we set a variable x to 12 and we are checking if 12 is less than 10, and we know that's false. 12 is not less than 10, so it evaluates the whole of this to false. So in Python we only execute what is underneath here only when this is true. So since it's false, it ignored it and it does not print this. You find out at the end it's printed this is after the if statement. Now what if I say x is greater than this? Print x is greater than 10. So if I run this again, you see it tells us x is greater than 10. Then it comes and says this is after the if statement. So after this if, and it evaluates this to true, it says 12 of course is greater than 10. It then prints this. So it will not execute this until this is true. Then after that, it continues with the normal flow of the program. So please always take note of your indentation. The indentation here can just be a tab or 4 spaces, and all this basically does is it's telling you it is underneath another code. So it's just telling you until something is met, don't do this. Yeah, so that's basically the idea of the if statement. Just to show you how this expression here executes, I can come up here and just let's print x greater than 10, and let's see what that gives us. So I can just come here and comment it out. That's control forward slash in PyCharm. If I should run this, it gives me true. So you can see it evaluates this as a boolean. So it checks is x greater than 10, 12 is greater than 10, so it gives me true. But assuming we add 8 here and I run it again, you see false. So that's just the whole idea behind it. So it replaces this with whatever result we have, whatever boolean result we have. Until it is true, that's when it executes the body. Now what if we want to check if it is greater than or if it is less than? So we want Python to tell us if it is either greater than or less than. How do we do this? We implement what we call an else statement. Else statement. So the if is just saying if this is this, do something else. If not, do another. So now that if not is where the else comes in. Now the else will be in line with this if. The else statement cannot be called on its own. It only comes after an if statement. So after the else statement, then you can now print otherwise. The first one here, we're checking for x if x is greater than 10. So if x is not greater than 10, then we can say x is less than 10, right? So if we run this, this is 8. So it's telling us x is less than 10. Now take note, we have like 3 print statements here, and the only ones that comes out here just two print statements. X is less than 10, and this is after the if statement. So if we have an if statement like this, including also together with the else, Python only picks one of it, so it does not print the both of them. Take note, it's only printing out based on the condition that is met. So if the value is greater than 10, it tells us it is greater than 10. Else, if this first condition is not met, else we want it to print this, the x is less than 10. And of course, it can also be equal to 10. So you can see x is less than or equal to 10. So that's basically how the if else statement works. The else, now you can see the indentation again. Very important. The indentation here must be the same with the indentation here. Python is very strict on indentations. So this must be the same with this. Now, we have many comparison operators before we talked about the less than, talk about the greater than, we talked about the less than. We also have the equal sign. We have the not equal sign, and we have some other, which is the combination of greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. All this does is just checking to evaluate to a boolean. So that's all it does. And it's just the normal normal when we say something is greater than or less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, it's just the normal expression, the way we think of it. There's no special meaning to it. So if I should just come, let's say I just comment this out. I'll be coming back here. Let's say I just comment this out just to show how those comparison operators work. Let's work with the print statements now. So we'll say we've talked about the less than, the greater than. Let's talk about the equal sign. Equal sign. So now take note. Normally you want to check if something is equal to something. Most of the time you feel like it should be just one equal to, right? Yes, but in Python, take note. Remember we use the equal sign for what? For declaration. We use it in declaring variable names. So we can actually use the same equal sign because Python will see that as always declaring another variable. So instead, we have the two equal sign. So the two equal sign is used to check for equality. If this end is equal to this end. So if we should run this now, obviously 8 is not equal to 10, so it gives us false. But we have 10 here and we run it, we see we have a true. So 10 is also the same as 10. So that's basically how it works. And yes, we have the not equal to. Not equal to. Take note, it must evaluate to true for Python to run a program. So it's not about how it's coined or whatever it is. This must evaluate to true if within an if statement. So it must evaluate to true before the body can work. So we're saying if x is not equal to 10, it do something. So yeah, let's just check how this evaluates. So 10 is not equal to 10. Is that true? So that's false. So 10 is actually equal to 10. So we have false here. But if we have 8 and run it, we have true. 8 is not equal to 10. So it's just, I can just come here and say, let's just include the if statement. So if I say so I say if x is not equal to 10, just tell us the numbers are not equal. So we're just telling it it's not equal. Now, the whole point here, what I'm trying to drive out is this must evaluate to true. True before it can work. So saying 8 is not equal to 10, as far as it is true, whatever is underneath here is executed. So if we run this, we have the numbers are not equal. But if the numbers are the same, and we run this, take note, nothing happens. Because all we have is just an if statement, and if this condition is not met, it continues the normal flow of the program, and there's actually nothing other than a comment after it. So it exits the code. So that's just how it works. Yes, we have the less than. Okay, let me just explain those other ones that we have. We have the less than or equal to. So let's just print. Yeah. So we have the less than or equal to sign. All you have to do is put it in front of the equal sign or greater than here. So it also evaluates to true. So in this case, greater than or equal to 10, if I run it, it's true because it's equal to 10. If I also say less than or equal to 10, it's also true because x is still 10. So it's less than or equal to at least. As far as it meets one of it, then it executes as true. Yeah, we have what we call the chained conditionals. Chained conditionals. So meaning you can check for more than one condition. You can check for like two conditions. And we'll make use of certain keywords to accomplish this. So for instance, assuming we're checking if x is less than 10 and now you can see I'm making use of the and. So that's a keyword in Python. It's just trying to say if this expression is true and this one is true, then we know the condition is met and that evaluates to true. So it's just like the first one is true, the second one is true, everything is true. But if one is true and the other is false, then everything evaluates to false. So if we're checking that x is less than 10, and we're also checking if x is, let me just check if, even though at the moment it doesn't really, there's no way that can actually work. But let's just say x is less than 10, x equals 10. It's not possible to have something less than 10, which is also equal to 10. So we're having 10 at the moment. If we run it, it's still having false. So 10 is definitely not less than 10. 10 is equal to 10. But yeah, 10 equals 10, that is true. Because of the AND statement we have here, the whole of it evaluates to false because the first one is false. But we have the OR statement, which is another statement here. Keyword. So when we run this, you see it evaluates to true. Why? So the OR keyword basically wants only as far as one of the condition is met, the whole of it is true. So 10 is definitely not less than 10, but 10 is equal to 10. So it's evaluated to true. So let's work with some more realistic examples. Now, looking at this, you see x is less than or equal to 10. Let's also create, is there a way we can create another message entirely for when it is equal to 10, another message entirely for when it is less than 10? So remember, this is just checking if x is greater than 10. So now we can actually do that. If we can do that in many ways. If our x is greater than 10, it tells us greater than 10. But if it isn't, after the else statement, we can include another if and say, okay, if our x is less than 10, then just tell us x is less than 10. Then remember, after the if, we have the else. And we can print. Now, we've checked the first time x is greater than 10. Now we've checked if x is less than 10. So if the program comes and sees it's not greater than and sees it's not less than, then we know definitely x is what? X is equal to 10. So I hope you understand what we're doing here. So the whole idea here is checking from the beginning. We have this expression x equals 10. If x is greater than 10, it tells us the value is greater than 10 and it exits the program and immediately prints this. But if the condition is not met, it comes into this else block. Then look at another if statement and see if x is less than 10. And if x is less than 10, it tells us it's less than 10. But if at the end x is not greater than 10, x is not less than 10, and it comes to this else block, it then prints x is equal to 10. And at the end, this last statement will always be printed. So if we run this, presently x is 10, so it tells us x is equal to 10. And this is after the if statement. Now, if our x is less than 10, let's say 3, and we run this, it tells us x is less than 10. And this is after the if statement. So you can see how Python executes its code here. It goes step by step sequentially from this point onto this one, onto this, before going to this. So this program will surely be executed after it gets just one condition true from here. So in this case, it will only bring out one of these print statements. I will not, for any reason, print out twice or two of it. Because once a condition is met, it exits and jumps out. So it comes out of it, then goes down here until a condition is met before it comes out. So that's just how it works. Now, I made use of the if and the else here. But in Python, we have a much simpler and better way of doing that. We have a combination of both. So let's just repeat what we have up here. I think I'll just copy. I'll just copy them here. Then I come here. Now we have what we call the elif. Now the elif is basically a combination of else, if. So just like we have this else here and this if here in Python, we have what we call the elif. So this combines everything together. Then all you have to do is include this condition here, x less than 10. Then the rest remains the same. So I hope you understand what I'm doing here. So you can look at this code here and look at this one here and see the difference yourself. So this has the else before the if, then this is just like a line of code wasted compared to this case. But you just have everything on a single line, then you have a condition. So what it just does is there are situations where you have more than one condition. As we have in this case, we have 3 conditions. It checks if the value is greater than 10, then it gives us elif, which is else if. It checks if the value is less than 10, it tells us it's less than 10. Then at the end, else. So meaning if none of the above 2 conditions are met, print this. So that's just how it works. And I hope you understand that. So at the end, it comes down here and gives us this last statement here. This is after the if statement. So that's just how it works. Now let's just work with another example. We've been working with less than, greater than, and all. Now let's try to implement what we've learned in the initial in the early models of this tutorial. I want to check if a number is even. I want to check if a number is even. So assuming in this case, let's ask the user for a number. So we ask the user for a number. Remember, we do it input, then we say enter a number. Now we see data type that is returned when a user enters it in a number here is a string, because the question here is the statement here is in string. So the whole of this when the user answers is in string, and we talked about conversion. So we convert the int and convert into an integer. I want to check if the number is an even number. How do we check if the number is not even number? Even numbers are number when divided by 2, they give a remainder of 0. So that's where the modulo comes in. Modulo returns the remainder. I want to check if this number is divided by 2, will it give us a remainder of 0? And if it does, then tell us the number is true. Tell us the number is an even number. So how do we do this? We have the if statement. Our condition is the modulo. We say when the number is divided by 2, we want the remainder to be 0. And that's all. So saying the number modulo 2 equals 0. So checking the condition, saying if this number is divided by 2, we want the remainder to be 0. So if the number modulo 2 equals 0, we want it to tell us the number is an even number. And of course, if it isn't, just give us the else statement and tell us the number is an odd number. So a number that isn't an even number, of course, is an odd number. So that's just what I want to do, and we are good to go. Let's run this. The first number I'll be entering in is, let's say, 13. It tells us the number is an odd number. If we run it again and we check for, let's say, 80, this number is an even number. So you can see this wonderful program we've written. All you have to do is put in a number and it checks for us and tells us if the number is even or if the number is odd. So immediately after this video, I'll be creating another one for the Python exercise playlist where we implement more of this if and a lot of elif statements beneath it. So do well to watch that one, and I'll include it at the end of the video as one of the thumbnails, something you can click. So do well to watch it, and I hope to see you in the next video where we'll talk about loops. Very interesting concepts. So take note as we cover things in this tutorial. There's all these exercises waiting in the exercise session. Thank you so much for watching. Please do also subscribe so you'll be notified of when my next video comes up. Thank you and see you in the next one.